Hello, everybody. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez, and we are here with Congressman Vicente Gonzalez. And today we're talking about a very important topic here in Corpus Christi and also just the coastal bend in general, our water crisis. So, Congressman, you spoke about this issue not too long ago in Washington. Tell me about that.
That's right. So every session we have an opportunity to present projects to the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure, and I presented a major drainage issue on the coast in case of an event that's a $650 million investment, and we talked about a desalination project that the City of Corpus Christi has been debating for quite a while, and we're getting, it's really an urgency and quite a crisis for the country, the entire country. And what I'm trying to do is bring attention to it, that it's not just a problem for Corpus Christi or the state of Texas. It's a national security problem if energy is not able to get exported from this very important energy hub. And paying for this can't be all on the backs of the population that lives here. I think the federal government has a responsibility to step in and pay for a project that's going to be responsible, that's going to ensure people can get good potable drinking water at a good price, and that we do it in an environmentally safe way.
Yeah, so for a lot of people that might not know, I mean, Corpus Christi, we are a major hub. We have the Port of Corpus Christi, we export crude oil, and that is, like you said, a pretty big hub for just the country.
Yeah, it's the second largest exporting energy hub in the country and one of the largest in the entire world. And it's something that we should protect. It creates a lot of jobs that we need to make sure that are there for generations to come. But we also need to get water for the population of this region, and it can't be by taxing them to pay for a project. There's other ways to get this done. And I think the federal government has a responsibility to step in along with other entities. But we need to, one thing we cannot do is do nothing, right? We can't sit on our hands any longer. Just recently, Corpus Christi was on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. Our credit rating has been brought down because of this crisis, which we can fix. And I think we should. And talking to the committee in Washington and assure that we bring national attention to the problem that's happening right here in Corpus Christi is a first step in fixing the problem.
So tell me, a lot of these people that you spoke with in Washington, did they know that this was happening in Corpus Christi?
So they didn't. So there's a lot of people that are not from our region or not from Texas, didn't know about the crisis. But I think it's important that we bring it to their attention, that we sound the alarm, and that we get help from the administration and help from the federal government to help pay for whatever it is that we need. We need a water conservation projects, and we definitely need a plant that assures that we're going to have good potable drinking water for generations to come, that industry is not going to leave, and we're going to be able to continue providing good paying jobs. And there's got to be a balance, right, between industry and the population that lives here, and do what's responsible for everyone. And I think the federal government should play a very important part of this solution.
And so right now, we just continue to diminish our water supply every single day. Obviously, we have, Corpus Christi here, we have industry. What's one thing that you think needs to happen probably this year?
That's right. I think we need to start building some kind of, working on both, right? On conservation, whenever there is storms and our reservoirs are full, we can't just stop talking about this. We need to continue achieving the goal of a permanent water security for Corpus Christi and the region. And we need federal investment, and we need everybody to come in and do what's responsible. But we can't continue to ignore it, because I hadn't represented Corpus before. It's now in my new map. But we've been talking, people have been coming into my office for the last 4 or 5 years talking about water shortage for Corpus Christi. And it's just been way too long. And I think we need to get our community leaders together. We need to all get behind a responsible project that will solve the water crisis without damaging our infrastructure, damaging the environment. And there's ways to do it. There's ways to do it properly, and there's ways to do it responsibly. And we need to get all the stakeholders at the table.
Have you spoken with local politicians here
yes.
that could maybe have that communication on top of yours with Washington? We
are. So we're speaking to local officials here at the county level and at the city level. And we're trying to build a bridge between them and Washington and other stakeholders. Certainly industry needs to be at the table, and assure that we come up with a project that is responsible, that is not on the backs of taxpayers here locally in Nueces County. And I think the federal government can do a whole lot more.
Yeah. Anything else that you think you want to mention in regards to the talks that are being communicated? Because recently we were at 10% combined capacity, which has just been the lowest that we've been. And now there is kind of an emergency type of situation where they're trying to pump out groundwater to
well,
supply.
Let me tell you, we can also, there's desalination projects for brackish water, which I have in my district now that I've brought millions of dollars to fund. And that is the most inexpensive desalinated water, much cheaper than the ocean, is getting brackish water, cleaning it, and being able to use it for potable drinking water for the community. I think we should be looking at all these projects and also more conservation. We should be lining canals. We should be making sure we don't lose resources to evaporation and seepage, which when you have water in any reservoir, you lose about 40% of it to evaporation. And there's ways to cover it, there's ways to pipe it, there's ways to conserve it. So when we talk about water projects, we can't just be thinking of desalination, we also need to be talking about conservation.
Most definitely. And so I know obviously you've represented the Valley for quite some time. Now in part of the new district, Corpus Christi is now being represented in that. But I know they've also had some water woes down there.
Oh yeah, we have water problems. And part of the problem is that when our reservoirs are full, when a big storm comes in, we stop talking about the problem. And that can go on for years. And then all of a sudden we're in a drought again and we're having critical times like now. And everybody's worried and concerned. And I said, the problem is we can't stop worrying about it when times are good. We need to make the investment and get behind a project that's going to bring a long-term solution.
So if people want to reach out to you in regards to their concerns, maybe have ideas for you, how can they contact your office?
They can call our district office or call our office in Washington. And we'd be happy to share the information we have and learn from you. And hopefully you learn from us. And we can come up with a project and a plan that will bring a final solution to this crisis that we're dealing with.
Okay, perfect. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Have a great one.